Do you ever get told,
read more, why don't you?
or you become smarter when you read? For many people, reading comes easily. A person picks up a book and gets absorbed. But for others, they lie on bed staring at the endless, boring pages of writing. Ugh, how horrible. Why do people actually say it's good? Does it really make you smarter? Oh yeah, wait. Welcome back to Sciencely Speaking, episode 2. In this episode, we will be focusing on how reading helps you. Now, back to the question. Does reading really make you smarter? Well, to answer your question, yes, it does make you smarter. The reasons it makes you smarter are it increases your variety of words, reduces stress, adds years to your life, helps fight depression symptoms, makes a person empathize a bit more, and many, many more reasons. But since we don't have all the time in the world, we will only talk about 4 main reasons why. These 4 reasons are how it increases your vocabulary, how it reduces your stress, how it adds years to your life, and how it helps fight depression. Let's start off with how it increases your vocabulary. When you read, an effect called the Matthew effect happens. The Matthew effect pretty much sums up that the richer get even more richer and the poorer get poorer, which both applies money-wise as well as vocabulary-wise. Research says that kids who start reading from a young age develop large vocabularies, and big vocabularies affect your way of communicating, which helps in daily life as well as tests or job opportunities. More on job opportunities. Poll states that 69% of bosses or employers are looking for people with smooth speaking skills. Now for how reading reduces stress. A research group measured the effects of reading on stress levels of students in health science program in America. They found out that in just 30 minutes, reading lowered blood pressure and feelings of psychological distress. The author of the article said that adding 30 minutes of reading in a student's schedule won't take away large amount of time from studies and will also help them physically and mentally. But wait, what is blood pressure and psychological distress? Blood pressure's exact definition is the harsh force of circulating blood on the arteries. The arteries are pretty much pathways for blood coming from your heart all over your body. Now, how about psychological distress? Psychological distress is the emotional pain coming from demands that are difficult to take care of. Before we continue with this episode, please enjoy this break. Hi, sorry to interrupt, but please like if you enjoyed this video and be sure to subscribe. Time for our next question. How does reading make your life longer? A retirement study states that 3,635 adult participants for a time of 12 years find that those who read books survived about 2 years longer than those who didn't or read magazines or other forms of media. The study also stated that those who read 3.5 hours every week have a 23% chance to live longer than those who didn't read at all. Now for our very last question. How does reading help with depression? People with depression may feel alone or isolated, and reading books may lessen this effect. Reading a fictional book can help you escape from your own world and be swept into an imaginative experience of the characters. As British philosopher said, consolation from imaginary things is not an imaginary consolation. Also, reading nonfiction books contains strategies that may help manage depression symptoms. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and bye-bye. Wait, hold on a second. You really thought that was it? I've of course got an extra fact waiting for you. So let's go. The brain is extremely important for memory. Your memory is the storage room to help you remember things from your life, such as your name, others' name, personalities, and facts. Without these needed things, your life just wouldn't go as it does, which is evident in the Alzheimer's disease. But what does this have to do with reading? Well, reading helps stop Alzheimer's from happening, or happening soon at least. When you read, it lowers the levels of beta amyloid, a brain protein involved with Alzheimer's. Not only that, reading slows down mental decline by keeping the brain busy, and it improves mind flexibility, which is, and I quote, the ability of a person to shift a course of thought or action according to the changing demands of a situation. Alright, we've talked all the goods, but you still don't feel like you want to read? You really don't like to read? Like J.K. Rowling says, if you don't like to read, you haven't found the right book. So continue to look. I'll be sending some links to free downloads for many kid-friendly and teen books. Now, before we bid adieu, one last thing. Don't read too much. I'm not quite sure if you've been told, but I have been told too much of something isn't good, even if it's a good something. I know, a bit confusing. But what it means is don't do too much of something. Reading is good, but you shouldn't spend hours on end reading. Half an hour or an hour is good enough. 2 hours max. Now, au revoir, adios, ciao, sayonara, annyeonghaseyo, and bye!